TV, the voice of football's most famous stand.
Yes, good evening and welcome back to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand. I'm here with Darren Whelan, aka Daz TV, as you can see. If you are watching this, guys, it is our first video back on the channel since this whole Euro Super League was announced. So on that of Darren, of course, we're going to run this one for about 7-8 minutes. So do get your comments in for us to read. As Liverpool draw away from home tonight at Leeds after a last kind of 5 minutes conceding from another set piece. Darren, we'll save the ESL stuff for later, but let's get into first and foremost a game that really we should have wrapped up. We had the chances to. Jota's header should have made it 2-0. We pounced on a mistake from them to score the goal, but realistically, a draw probably a fair result for you tonight.
Yeah, we're a little bit more creative tonight and should have, as you said, got that second. Then Salah is true when he hits a wide. And again, a game where we're just not clinical enough. You have chances and you need to be taking them. We talk about sometimes in games you need a bit of luck. And we haven't had much of that this season, but you also got to be taking your chances when you're given them. And you have to sometimes create your own luck. And tonight, I knew going into this game, they have a high press, Leeds. They take risks, they take chances. It suited us in the way that they come out and play. But, I mean, going 1-0 up at half-time, coming out in the second half early, having chances, not taking them, again, to me, outlines more and more of a need and a demand of needing a number 9 and someone clinical, and that's going to be cutthroat and ruthless when it comes to these chances, and you've got to be at this level. All round, really disappointing. It's 2 points dropped tonight. We're a point now behind Chelsea. They have a game in hand. Leicester and Chelsea always in the last couple of weeks particularly look favourites for top 4. We can talk about Chelsea dropping off with a lot of games. They have to still to play each other, but all the chance, all the belief and confidence I had of us getting top 4. I don't know whether I'm just saying this straight away after the 90 minutes and high emotions, but it's looking very, very faded now, and it's miraculous now to turn it around because all the chances we had this season, again, teams dropping points, a good weekend to capitalise, and we don't do. We go 1 up. Alisson keeps us in the game a lot as well. I thought Trent was good, Kabak at the back, but what more can you ask for? You know, it's there. Yeah. It's very disappointing all around.
You mentioned the fact that we missed the opportunity tonight to go into that top 4. I mean, according to these new rules, it's like an elephant in the room, you can't ignore it. When you bring that into the equation, you might not even need to get into the top 4 for there to be a Champions League campaign next season, because it just won't exist for Liverpool if we go into this Super League. So many things to talk about on that. We will finish on the game though. I mean, in terms of standout performance from you tonight, I mean, Mane scored, but for me it was pretty wasteful. Trying to think of, I mean, Fabinho and Kabak looked decent. My boy Nat Phillips obviously didn't start the game. But who else kind of played well for you tonight?
Alisson kept us in it, good saves, but he's bounced back well. It was 2 errors, the one at Madrid, and in one of the other games he had an error as well. And Trent, I thought, was good tonight, bit creative, good defensively. But look, I mean, we talk about good performances and players getting whatever rating out 10, but I mean, a club of Liverpool's stature and like the chances we've had this season, like I keep going back to when you lose 6 games at home and you don't score. Like we've had 139 shots on goal this season at Anfield, and we scored 3 goals, 1 a penalty that Salah converted against City, we get beaten, and then 2 was in 1 game against Villa. So, you know, you just can't help. That's awful. It's relegation form, it's relegation stats. So for us to be still in with a chance with top 4 was unbelievable. And what a chance we're giving ourselves still. After we lost at home to Chelsea, I felt that was it. For us to still have a chance and get there and turn it around, and we're not taking it. I don't know. Look, today it's a strange day all around for football. It's an awful day. Probably the worst you can remember in football, not just for Liverpool, but football in general. But tonight's result is just another. It's awful. It really is. 2 points
tonight's
dropped.
Result. I mean, of course, it's 2 points dropped. Of course, we should have seen out the game. Of course, we should have put away our chances. We can sit here and debate all that, but really and truly, it does all pale into significance when the overarching powers that be in this corrupt game have their say, with or without the fans' acknowledgement, and also just fairness. It's just not fair, is it? So I'm not too sure why my camera's gone a bit weird there.
It faded there.
Oh,
yeah.
there you go.
Back to normal.
But all of this has happened behind our backs whilst we've been celebrating the league title, basically. They've been making deals with the devil. I mean, we'll just touch on this. I mean, listen, we can, yes, we drew the game and all that. Let's leave the game now and just get your opinion for the last kind of 2 minutes of this video on the shambles that has been announced. And big up to the guys commenting. Mushin says, big up to the Kop TV. Get it to 5K. Let's get it to 5K. Come on, guys. We can do this.
Keep going. The likes.
Klopp's substitutions were debatable. We'll get on to that. Loved you on the Don Robbie channel earlier. Thank you, mate. Very sure, very nice of you there. Right, Darren, you've got the floor for until we get to about 7.5 minutes, mate.
Alex, everybody knows me stance on it. I mean, ethically and morally wrong. I mean, this isn't something that just came out yesterday on the eve of what was going to be announced in Champions League. This is something that was very spiteful and something that has been rumbling on. There's been meetings and phone calls and etc., emails and all about this going on, probably for over a year or less or whatever, but it's happened a lot. And I mean, it's complete greed. It takes every moral and ethic out of the game from grassroots right up. I mean, and this is it really an over surprising with the way football's gone, with UEFA, with FIFA, with all the corruption, with how money, even transfers have come into the game. And I know I touched on something earlier on a different stream with VAR. I mean, VAR's come into the game and it's taken out emotion around it, but this is, forget about VAR and all the other stuff that we can get over and we can argue and we can probably get our way around that. But is this something that the fans can win? I believe it can. I think if fans stop tear up season tickets, protests, stop going to games, just completely disown and turn on the club, because it's not the club, the players and the manager, it's the owners, you know what I mean? And we need to understand that, like, I heard a lot of negativity around Liverpool as a club, and we know it's not the socialist club as it once was, and we know that we're sometimes treated more now like customers and not fans. But it's absolutely shocking to think that this was just this wasn't a proposal to fans or to the club or the players and managers or any coaches of the club. This was just something that was announced. They sat at a table, they decided, right, this is where the richest, this is going to be like a game of poker. This is where it's rich against rich and it's billionaires against billionaires, and this is what we're going to outcome with, and we're going to go our own way, and we're going to get what they feel that is out of all this. But it's as I said, ethically and morally wrong. It stinks the place out. It's absolutely horrible and disgusting for the game of football that we were all brought up to watch from grassroots levels and play, and we were all, when you look at football years ago to now, it's changed in different ways. But as I said, with everything else that's happened in it, this is the final hurdle. This is the one that's a kick in the teeth. This is the one that is like, it's no coincidence that everybody's against it. Nobody's come out and defended it. You look at any ex-players, pundits, whatever, they're all distraught about it. So that to me says enough for anybody that doesn't know about it. That will tell you everything you need to know when everybody's against it and everybody is speaking like just in how much disgust and disarray they are, you know what I mean, about it. That it's shambolic and it's senseless, and I don't get it. I thought when I heard of it yesterday, I didn't have too much to say about it. It was going to replace the Champions League, and I knew there was going to be changes to that. But the fact it's going to take the FA Cup, the League Cup, the Premier League out, and it's going to just allow the other clubs out to dry, and it's going to just pull away from all that. It's just wrong in every way. I can't find even a percentage. I'm normally positive and open-minded, and I listen to things and see where it's going. But with this, Alex, there's none of that. Man. Do you know what I mean? I can't see even a quarter of a percentage out of 100 of where this is going or what it's all about, apart from money and control. It seems like it's a big control issue. But I don't know. It's horrible.
Yeah, listen, we'll leave it there, mate. Thanks for that. But we will get you back on. We're going to do a special kind of what happens next show. Where we get the regulars. Next? Yeah, we're going to get the regulars of the Kop TV on, and we'll discuss what we think is around the corner for not only Liverpool, not only the Super League, but also the rest of the footballing world, right down to grassroots level. Great comments coming in here. Thank you so much for them. We'll be back very shortly with Few Izzy. Until then, Darren, thank you.
Take care, Alex. Mate. Take care, everybody. All the best.